Today is Wednesday, May 23rd, and I am cultivating some ground that's we're going to seed to hay and oats for green feed. This was barley last year and got it disked last fall, and I harrowed it on the 2nd or 3rd of May, I forget. So it's had about an inch of rain on it since then, but there's not a lot growing on it, but a little bit of quackgrass in places and some volunteer barley and dandelions. So the plan is to cultivate it and harrow it tomorrow morning, and then we're going to float the seed on with the fertilizer, and then you harrow it to cover it and then roll it. So tractor's pulling an old 25-foot field cultivator, and it's handling it not too bad. It can only do 4.7 miles an hour, but this tractor only has the Dyna 4 transmission, so you don't have enough working speeds. The next gear up is 5.7. That's just a little too much of a tug for it. So we're going nice and slow, but that's all the dirt sticking to the windshield. But fortunately, we only have to do this once, unless it rains a whole bunch, I guess. But floating the seed on is the way I've seeded the last 300 acres, I guess, of grass or hay that I've seeded, and it's worked really well. You don't have to worry about getting it too deep, that's for sure. I think that rolling it is the key to getting it to germinate, and I've had really good germination the last 2 times I've done it this way, so we'll do it this way again. I don't have any seeding equipment. The only tillage equipment I have is this 40-year-old cultivator and some 60 feet of tine harrows that are about 30 years old and wore out. They seem to do enough to cover the seed. So by putting it all in the floater truck, it does a lot of things at once, so it's actually fairly cost effective, I think. You fertilize, you seed, your grass, your alfalfa, your oats, everything goes on at once. So of course the risk is, you've got to work the land to do it that way, so you always have the risk of erosion, and this land has some hills and draws, so it erodes even with the stubble standing there, so it will certainly erode when it's worked up, but whatever happens, we'll just have to patch it back up with some reseeded little bits and pieces and try and get grass to grow somewhere where the water will run on top instead of cutting through. So hopefully I'll get some pictures of the floater truck going, and we'll see how this works. Today's Friday, May 25th. We are seeding. After I cultivated the field, I harrowed it yesterday. I thought they were going to come yesterday afternoon, but they didn't, so we're at it this morning. So that's the floater truck. Dodging sloughs, making dust. And I'm harrowing behind them. Little fields up there in the corner, 5 acres and 10 acres or something like that, and then this field I just pulled into is about 110 acres, I think. So we did a good job of drying everything out, that's for sure. those guys fly along. So got seeding and harrowing done, and I am now rolling. I should be able to see that. Unfortunately, I don't have a tractor big enough anymore to pull a 50-foot roller, so next step down from 50 at the rental place is 16. So I'm going to be out here a long time, but it's doing a great job of pushing the rocks in, and this soil is dried out and it needs to be compacted on the seed, so it has to be done. So we'll just be out here all night unless we get rained out and try and get her done. Try to slow down a little on the corner so I don't chew up the ground. There's the massive roller. So it's too bad. A 50-footer would have been great, but you need about 175 horse, they were saying. We pulled it from a different outfit with a 160 horse tractor, so, but we didn't have the hills on that field that we have here. There are some crazy hills. So there's just no way I could have done it with this tractor, 120 horse, little 4-cylinder. So what can you do? We'll go back and forth a lot. There's my massive roller. I just started on the big field. That's going to take a while. Yeah. So it's the next day, Saturday, May 26th. I'm still rolling. We got started over there along the trees. There's a bunch of sloughs at the north end here. I did all around them yesterday, so I didn't have to do them in the dark. And we got to go over to there, and then up around that corner back behind the bush. So it's probably another 5-6 hours. It's very slow. But you can see what a difference it makes to roll it. You don't see the rocks, but there's a lot of rocks, so pushing them in. I've had to pick about 5 or 6 giant boulders and carry them off the field. But everything else, it pretty much pushes them right in. So, plus getting the seed compact, or the dirt compacted on the seed, I guess. I seeded by the acre a bushel of oats, 8 pounds of alfalfa, 2 pounds of meadow brome, 2 pounds of smooth brome, 1 pound of tall fescue, and a smidgen of timothy. So that mix has worked in the past. The timothy and the tall fescue will grow in the low spots. Some of these draws that are on here, I may have to seed them by hand. Just put reed canary grass or something in that'll withstand the water. We'll see how it goes. As far as fertilizer, actual nutrients, I put 40 pounds of nitrogen, 30 pounds of phosphorus, and 15 pounds of potash. So as long as that floater truck has at least 130 pounds of actual fertilizer product, it has to have a minimum of that, which we were over that. Then it can push through all the seed with the fertilizer. So I never touched any seed or fertilizer. I didn't have to get it. It all came from the same place, and it's pretty handy. So there's a slough over there, there's a slough here, there's another one behind it, and there's another one over that hill. Very annoying. It could probably be tiled. This one's almost dry now. Dust is switched around and the wind is keeps changing. Sometimes it's directly out of the north and blowing right along with me. Well, I'm finally done. Now all we need is rain.